Tonight we are at Disney's Contemporary Resort and we are dining at California Grill. If you don't know, we do dining reviews every single Monday, so be sure to check those out. So I said we were dining at California Grill and we have been here many times, but because it is the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, they have a special prefix menu for the 50th anniversary. This actually features their most popular items from over the years, and what's actually kind of exciting is there's little 50 markers by some of the items on this menu, and where there's a 50 means that that was on the menu when they first opened, and this was called Top of the World, which if you are a DVC member, you would know that Top of the World Lounge is actually at Bay Lake Tower now. So a little bit different, but we're excited to be back at California Grill. This is probably one of our favorite restaurants on property, and I'm excited for this menu tonight.
The menu here at California Grill, like Taylor said, is prefix, and that is not a traditional thing. It's actually very new for the 50th celebration. And like she said, kind of the combination of over the last 50 years, everything that they've had that's been bestsellers. So tonight we are trying to do some of the bestsellers, or obviously we're doing the bestsellers. Obviously we're trying to do some of the items that were here on opening day when it was Top of the World, and then a combination of some other things. So I'm pretty excited. There's a few things here that I don't think that I would have gotten maybe before, but because it's kind of here, or was here as when it opened, I'm interested to try it. So it should be really good. But of course, as always, we have to go with cocktails here. And she took the menu for cocktails. And to start tonight, I got the ZACAPA Sidecar. This is ZACAPA rum, COINTREAU, and a sweet and sour splash. So I would imagine it's going to be quite heavy on the rum. Smells fantastic. A little unique. I don't think I've ever had a sidecar before. Rum is not very potent. It's like very smooth. But what I also kind of enjoy, which I don't normally enjoy, is that there's like sugar that's been kind of half rimmed and it's kind of almost ran down the glass. So it makes it a little bit unique, a little different. It's very good.
We have been to California Grill enough that I do have a cocktail that I get here every single time. It is the Blackberry Sour. This is Ketel One CITROEN vodka, house-made lemonade, and blackberries. And I love that they always top it with a gigantic blackberry. But it basically tastes like blackberry lemonade, but the adult version. And it is so smooth and literally tastes exactly the same every time we've come here, whether it's for dinner or for our bar crawl or whatever. My favorite cocktail when I come here to the Contemporary.
The bread here is served a little bit differently. I think they used to have a couple different kinds. It's now just a straight focaccia bread, but they still serve their olive oil with roasted tomatoes, garlic, a bunch of other spices that are in there. And it's absolutely fantastic. You can't go wrong with this. It's usually nice and warm, which it is right now. The bread is anyways, not the oil, but really good. Perfect way to start the meal here every time at California Grill.
For our appetizer from the prefixed menu, or the market inspirations, I chose to get the lobster and parsnip bisque. This was actually one of the items that was on the original menu from opening day of Top of the World. This is lobster, champagne, creme fraiche, and has a parsnip crisp on top. This was a delicious lobster bisque. It was so smooth, but it was like a little thicker than a typical lobster bisque, and I think maybe because of like the parsnip puree there too, kind of helped thicken it up a little bit, but it was amazing. So creamy and a really nice lobster flavor in there. Sometimes there's lobster pieces in lobster bisques, sometimes there's not. With this one, there actually was. Not a ton, but I think just enough for this portion size of lobster bisque. Amazing. Now, this is on the prefix menu, what I'm about to talk about. But we ordered this extra because you cannot come to California Grill without getting the braised short rib wontons. They come with a miso cola onion sauce, crispy garlic chili oil, radish, and pickled lotus root. I can see why this is on the 50th anniversary menu. This is definitely a top item. I know our friends Mike and Steve have to get this every single time, mostly Mike, and we have to get this every single time. It is just one of probably the best dishes at the signature restaurants for an appetizer, and I couldn't come here and not have it today. So, great starters. Josh's pizza was amazing too, but I will let him tell you about it.
My appetizer today, I decided to go with the house-made artisanal style duck a la orange pizza. This is part of the 50th, that was here when they originally opened. This is duck prosciutto and confit, pickled shallots, orange, black mission fig jam, aged blue cheese, and arugula. And it is absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the best so-called flatbread pizzas that I've ever had. I will say that the California Grill here, to me, when I think of California Grill, not only do I think of fireworks, but I think of sushi and I think of flatbreads. Two things that they do so well here. I'm really surprised that we didn't go with sushi tonight, but because of the prefix menu, you kind of have to pick your battles. So I went with something original. I'm really glad that I did, because it's phenomenal. Flavors here, all of it balances really well together. Between the arugula, that jam adds this nice little bit of sweetness to it. You get this, this nice little bite from the blue cheese in there, and the duck prosciutto itself is a little bit interesting. It has a nice savoriness to it. So, and then of course the whole thing is cooked really well. Nice and crispy, but still nice and soft on the edges where the crust is at. So this is a perfect flatbread pizza here at California Grill, and I'm really glad that I got it. It's so much. I know that I've got more food coming. I'm gonna save half of it, take it home, and have a snack for tomorrow.
For my entree, or the chef's journey, I had the oak-fired fillet of beef. This came with black truffle brown butter, potatoes, golden raisins vinaigrette, cauliflower, and roasted tomato butter. Overall, this was an amazing entree. I got my filet cooked medium rare, and it was perfect. I actually almost thought it was a little bit underdone when I first cut into it, but then once I actually opened up and looked at it, it was a nice medium rare. The butter's in there, the truffle, all the different flavors, they just really blended well together. I liked that the cauliflower was nice and roasted. It was like a perfect roast. It was a nice tender cut through the cauliflower, and the potatoes actually had a nice little crust of the skin, and then whenever you cut into them, it was a nice fluffy potato inside. Overall, outstanding entree. You can't go wrong with filet anywhere you go. I actually feel like the last couple of dining reviews that we've done, I have not had steak, or steak wasn't an option. So it actually feels like it's been a minute since I've got to have steak. So this was nice.
For my entree tonight, I decided to go with a seafood dish, as always, trying to give you guys something that's a little bit balancing out Taylor's steak problem over there. And I went with the Monterey-based CIOPPINO. This is pink shrimp, clams, mussels, scallops, butter fish, uni butter, and crab sourdough, rich tomato broth, and handmade fragola. So, a couple of things here. Pink shrimp, there are 2 pink shrimps, a couple of clams, a couple of mussels. There was only 1 scallop, not plural scallops. And then the butterfish was a pretty small portion. So flavor-wise, everything was really good here. But as far as CIOPPINOs that I've had in the past, not the best one I've actually had, which is kind of surprising. And again, this is not part of their 50th anniversary celebration. It is a dish that apparently they've sold or done really well with. But as far as the serving size goes, I felt like it was pretty small, and definitely had a lot to be desired, especially with not having a lot of broth in there. I feel like a CIOPPINO tends to have a little bit more of the tomato type based broth. This one was lacking. On top of your proteins also as well. I mean, the pizza fish was really only about this big, maybe the size of a silver dollar. But again, whenever you come to a restaurant that has a menu set up like this, sometimes it tends to happen. And as far as like value goes for the price that you're paying, this is probably not the best value. If you're looking for a better value, it's probably going to be the beef tenderloin that Taylor got.
For my dessert or my sweet creation, I had the 5 Magical Bites 50 years in the making. So this was a honey cake, a lemon curd, carrot cake, a cheesecake with strawberries, and a like chocolate flourless cake, I believe it was. And then there was also like a strawberry puree in the middle with a little 50th anniversary piece of chocolate. Overall, I really enjoyed this dessert because it was small bites and I got a good taste of, you know, a variety, obviously. I think in order, my favorite was the chocolate, then the lemon curd, then the cheesecake, then the honey cake that had a super cute little bee on it, and then the carrot cake. I know a lot of people like carrot cake and they're probably wondering why it's the last on my list, but I actually don't like carrot cake. I just really, I don't know, there's something about the texture to it to me. The cake itself was nice and like soft and moist, and I really did like the cream cheese icing on there, but carrot cake just isn't for me. I'm more of a chocolate and lemon girl, so that's why those are my 2 favorites. But really cute presentation for this dessert, and I did enjoy it very much. I did also get myself an espresso martini. I wasn't gonna get anything. Josh got a coffee, and then they said that they also had some cappuccino and lattes. I was like, maybe I'll get a latte, but then I was like, oh, hello, espresso martini. And this one is super smooth. Sometimes I feel like they're a little too strong, and I think that maybe just depends on how they make it, obviously, but more of the liquor that they use in it. But this one is going down very nice, and it's got a nice froth on the top too. So great way to finish the meal.
For my sweet creations dessert, I got something that really wasn't dessert, which was the chef's selection of California cheeses. This is 3 unique cheeses with house-made accompaniments, and you know, if you guys have been watching us for a while, I'm not like a huge sweets fan. Like, there are specific things I'll eat, specifically chocolate, but if I can get some cheeses, I do. And normally I get that because I know it's going to come with a blue cheese and honey, and normally it's a honeycomb, and today it was. And it was also served with 2 other cheeses. I thought one was kind of more like a brie and like a soft cheddar or something. They had very obscure names, and I may have gotten the audio of her saying what it is.
You get the mountain, harmful fog, and then the blue cheese right here, bay blue.
Okay.
Everything lavash on this side, and you get the apple puree, some pecan biscotti, and
but it was really good. Again, to me, I think it's a better way to end the meal than with a bunch of desserts, because I don't know. I'm just not a huge dessert fan. So, and of course I always have to try to end with some coffee, because it makes me think that it helps me to digest everything that I had, even though that's probably not the case, but you know, believe what you will, because that's what everybody does today. All right, so that is going to do it for us here at California Grill at the Contemporary.
Yeah, I always love coming back here just for the views alone. The sunset, I was so happy. This is crazy. We got a 5:20 reservation at like 10 till 4 today.
Yeah.
On the same day. So if you ever think that you can't get the reservations for the restaurants you want, always just check, because you literally
just never know.
We weren't even trying to come here. We just saw the reservation pop up, so we decided
Grabbed
to come. But snagged it. But love the views up here. The food is always amazing. I think Josh and I were discussing this at the very end of our meal, if it was worth it or not for the prefix menu. I think for what I ordered with my appetizer, my filet, entree, and dessert, that for me it was worth it, only because that filet is probably like a $50 or $60 meal alone. So
It just depends, I think.
So I think it really just depends what you get. So
because the appetizer that I had, which was the pizza, I'm taking half at home, is a huge appetizer.
That is a huge portion.
Big portion. But then, you know, the CIOPPINO, definitely not worth it. You know, that's probably, that's maybe a $30 entree, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Just judging like from the size and everything that was with it. So it wasn't that great. And then of course, like the cheese, the select cheeses, I could have gotten something else, but just for my palate, you know, for me personally, I'd say it wasn't worth it. For Taylor, for her, it was worth it. So it really just kind of depends whenever you come here, what you're going to get.
Yes. So, I mean, if you're going to a restaurant that has a prefix menu, just check out the menu before you go and then kind of decide and see if it would really be worth it to you or not. I mean, regardless, if you're coming to California Grill, you're almost paying for views anyway. So, I mean, you really just can't beat it up there. And if you come at the right time, you can also see fireworks. If we would have stuck it out a little bit longer, we could have seen them, but we were super stuffed and pretty much just ready to go. So, you know, you can always catch the fireworks up there, and they pipe in the music too, which is even better. So let us know if you have ever been to Disney's Contemporary Resort to the California Grill, and if you're going to come try the prefix menu for the 50th anniversary.